Are we here? Can you hear me? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's my sound, Andrea? Am I good? Looking for you here to see if you can hear me all right. Yes, you can. Very good. Excellent. Hey, Michaela. Michaela's here with us. Hi, thank you for being here. So Michaela has her own program. She is an incredible human being. I'm just going to toot her horn here for a moment. So Michaela is in a pod with me. We are sisters, if you will, in the world of all of the technology and how we actually launch these crazy courses. So for me, there's so much that's happening that's up to my eyeballs. I'm up to my eyeballs with so many aspects of, of this particular learning curve. And Michael is in that with me as well. And she has an incredible course and an incredible business that is in the green living world. So she's launching a program that teaches people how to navigate eating, or not eating better. Well, it's part of that, right? It's like cleaning supplies, going through each room of your house and identifying how you live in an environment that is healthier, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all part of the whole. So those of you who've done Pilgrim with me, you know that, and that's how we do this, right? There's all these different pieces that we are turning our attention toward in our lives so that we can rise into our next best and highest evolutions. So who else is here with us? Who else is here? Hey, Michaela, you're welcome to put your blog. So you have a super great blog. You're welcome to put that in the comments. I'd love to be able to share what you're doing with people. So feel free to do that. So who else is here? Tell me who's here as we're waiting just a few minutes before we get started. Love to know who's here with me. I'm seeing you show up. This is good news. I'm going to say hello just to see if that kicks us into action here. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. There we are. You're showing up. Who's here? Tell me who's here. How many of you are early morning exercisers like I am? I'm curious. Do you get up early and get right at it in the morning, or are you more late to roll out of bed and late to get yourself going? I'm super curious. Just drop a comment. There's Susan Applegate. Hi. I'm waving at my other monitor. Hi, Susan. Can you see me waving? I'm right here. It's such a process. So I'm such an early riser. We'll just wait a few minutes. I'm such an early riser that what happens for me a lot of times is by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I am done. My brain turns off and my body says, it's time to completely stop thinking, stop working. I can start super early in the morning. And a lot of times recently I wake up at about 4:30 and I think, can I get up now? Can I get up now? I feel like a kid at Christmas. So who's here? Tell me who's here. Show up with me. Tell me who is live with me. Tell me if you're an early riser. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to interact today. So we're going to pretend that we're sitting here you're sitting in my living room with me, right? Or maybe I want to be sitting in your living room because it's about 93 degrees here. So if I'm shiny, you know exactly why. It is super hot where I am here in Mérida, Mexico. All that to say, we are going to get going. Just tell me who's here. Tell me, pretty people. Tell me that you can hear me. Tell me that you can see me all right. Tell me all that good stuff. There we go. Too cold in my house in the morning. Mid-afternoon is better for you for exercising. I get it. We might have a little bit of a delay. So Just know that I'm right here. Look at that. I'd rather be in Mexico. It's 10 below zero in Minneapolis. Yeah, my sister sent me a message yesterday, and she sent me a screenshot of the weather, and it said -0. And she's like, what the heck is -0? Meanwhile, I'm literally sitting on my couch in my underwear in the thinnest pajamas I can have, and that I own, and I'm just dying of heat. So it's an amazing world that we can have all these different places. Anyway, okay, here we are. It is time to rock and roll, beloveds. I want to jump right into this content with you. If you've been watching me, if you've been following me, you know I am on fire. I'm super excited. I'm inspired about the work that has been coming through me. And this particular topic is near and dear to my heart, and it's something that's been coming for a long time. So those of you who know me through Pilgrim know that I'm a yogini at heart. You're going to see that. You're going to sense that. It might just show up here. You're welcome to ask questions about anything and everything in that way. But I want us to show up here in the comments. I want to know who's here. I want to know what you're hungry for. I want to know what you're struggling with. I want to know all those things. So when I ask for your feedback, I'm just asking you to show right on up here and to tell me what's alive for you relative to what I might ask you at any given moment. All right, deal? Thumbs up. Okay, this is, as you can see, this is what I'm calling the 4 secrets that every woman needs to know really about her health and that nobody's talking about. And why I say that nobody's talking about it is because I get up in the morning at dark 30 in the morning, and I feel inspired and ready and awakened and like ready to meet the day, whatever the day has for me. I'm ready. And that doesn't come naturally. That's not a characteristic of mine necessarily. Instead, that's something that I've cultivated through the practices that I'm going to talk about today. And so we're not talking about these things. Instead, I get up and I go through my morning ritual practices. I do all the things that make me feel good. And then I come and I start my day, and much of my work interfaces with social media. And I think, you know what? There's a lot of suffering out there. There's a lot of women whose energy is getting gutterballed into doom scrolling and dumbing down and numbing out and catastrophizing life and struggling with things such as her emotional state or the pressures because she's working at home and she's got toddlers at home and there's homeschooling to be done, and everything that she relied upon a year ago is now gone. And so there's very little stability. And so this is about rebuilding that foundation. So that's what this is about. These are the 4 secrets. That's why I call them secrets, because we're not talking about them. Many of us don't know about those things. And so what I want to do with you today is I want to really, truly unveil the secret in the simple ways that you can change your life. And I mean that I'm not over-promising. I promise you, I'm not over-promising. And that you're going to change your life from the inside out. Okay, so in this webinar, essentially what I'm going to do is I am going to teach you the 4 secrets or the 4 pillars for living your best life. And by the end of our time together, you're going to learn how to identify these 4 secrets or pillars in your own world, like the world of Britt, or the world of Tyga, or the world of Susan, or the world of Michaela, or whoever else is here. Tell me you're here. And once you identify those, you're going to see how you can use them to live a more inspired, more resilient, and more impactful life. And if you stay with me until the end, and if you decide that you want to continue to journey with me, I'm going to send you this little jewel. This is a book that I wrote called Dessert for Breakfast. It's a little book, and it really is something that came out of years and years of teaching retreats and knowing that nothing made me happier than after a glorious, super clean meal when the women would sit back and they would have these, what we referred to as mouthgasms. Like the dessert in their mouth was so delectable, and I knew there was no refined sugar. It was loaded with antioxidants and superfoods and all the healthy fats. They weren't going to have a glycemic index sugar crash. There was no inflammatory ingredients, none of that. It was just pure nutritional nectar. And I love to think that if I can eat a dessert for breakfast and feel really good about it and know I'm not going to have a spike in sugar and then a crash, then I know that I've nailed it. And that's what this little book is all about. So if you stay with me until the end and you decide that you want to continue to journey with me, which I'll talk about, you get a copy of Dessert for Breakfast. Okay, so if you haven't already, I'm going to invite you to turn off all of your distractions. And if you need to run and grab a glass of water, do that. If you got to go potty, go do that and then come on back. If there's a door open that you can close, close it. Anything at all. If you're not that comfortable sitting where you're sitting, make an adjustment. This is all about self-care. And I want you to feel good in your body. And I want you to be present to the best of your ability. And then if something comes up, let it not take you down an emotional gutter, but instead just notice it. Okay, there's kids screaming. Okay, the phone's ringing. Okay, whatever it may be, and then come on back. Just keep on coming on back to me. But we're going to get ourselves set up from the get-go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the exercise that I love to practice for myself anytime that I feel like I've found myself a little bit in the woods, as if to say, I'm not living my highest potential. And I know that there's something that I could be doing that's going to help enhance my life, that's going to help enhance my productivity, that's going to turn up the volume on my potency in my life at large. So I call this the 4 pillars exercise. And remember what I said in the beginning, I'm going to be helping you lay a foundation. And this is where we start. So here's what you do. You can do this now, or you can just do part of it now, and then I encourage you to come back and do it later. You're going to grab a piece of paper, and you're just going to take that piece of paper and draw 2 lines, a vertical line and a horizontal line, 2 intersecting lines. And then in each quadrant, you're going to write 1 word. In one quadrant, you're going to write the word do. In one quadrant, you're going to write the word think. In one quadrant, write the word feel. And in the final quadrant, you're going to write the word know. Okay? Do, think, feel, and know. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to just brain drain. This is just brain dumping. So in each quadrant, and a big piece of paper is great in this way. In each quadrant, you're going to write what you are currently doing, thinking, feeling, and what you currently know. And then you're also going to write what you could be doing, thinking, feeling, and knowing. And it might be in this very moment, or it might be a bit of a larger scope of looking at your life. So for example, what am I doing on a day-to-day basis? I am running 3 days a week. I'm meditating. I'm praying. That's my shtick. I'm eating my veggies. I'm drinking water. I keep this here with me all the time. If you would have been with me live yesterday, I had a smoothie. I had my green tea with fresh cashew milk, and I had my glass of water. So I had my own full buffet of liquids. But for me, drinking water, what am I doing? I'm drinking water. What am I doing? I'm receiving massage twice a month. What am I doing? I'm oiling my feet every single night. What am I doing? I'm providing for myself a minimum of a 2-hour media fast at night before I go to sleep and in the morning before I start my day. Right? Those are the things that I'm doing. What am I thinking? I'm thinking, you know what? I got this. I'm thinking, I'm held. I'm thinking, whatever is meant for me can't be kept from me. And what's not meant for me, I'm not going to get anyway. So I might as well relax here. Those are the things that I'm thinking. Now, you might find that you're like, whoa, I'm not running 3 days a week. I'm not meditating. I'm not praying. I'm drinking wine every single night. I'm drinking 3 cups of coffee in the morning. I'm having emotional blow-ups with my partner. Maybe you're doing those things. Maybe you're thinking, holy baloney, how am I ever going to make it through this quarantine? Or, oh my goodness, I want so out of my life right now. Like I'm taking it to the extreme. But here's the thing. You're writing what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're feeling, and what you know in your bones. What you know in your bones. And then you're also writing what you could be doing. So if you're not doing those things and you got a whole long list of things you're not doing, all you need is one good thing that you could be doing, one good thing that you could be thinking instead, one good thing that you could be feeling, and one good thing that you know, right? So for example, what do I know? I know that I have everything that I need right now. I know that I'm safe. I know that everything is all right. ALL space RIGHT. Not all right. Everything's all right. No, I know everything is all right. It's in right order. That's what I know in my bones and in my blood, right? You could know that, right? So you can take any one of these things. I just kicked my shoes off if you heard that noise. You could take any one of these things and you put them in. So what you want to do here is you just want one thing in each quadrant that you can focus your energy upon. So this is what we call in yoga svadhyaya, or otherwise known as self-study. In order for you to take the step forward in the direction of the life that you want to be living, you got to get really clear about what's working and what's not working. So what is the one thing that you could be doing that would make the most positive impact in your life today? Not tomorrow, today. What's the one thing you could be thinking that would make the most positive impact in your life today? Same with feeling and same with knowing. Then, here's what I offer, is through that practice, you put those things, let me come on back here, those become your pillars. So those become your foundation. Now hang on to those. I want you to hang on to those because I'm going to come back to those in a little bit. But you've got those pillars. What am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I knowing? And if you haven't done this exercise fully right now with me, never you mind. You're going to be able to take this later and do the exercise, and you're going to know exactly what you're going to do with it when you're done. So next piece, why are you here? So in my experience, people come to me and come to the offerings that I provide, whatever they are, really for one of three reasons. The first of which is you're hungry. There's a longing in you for a more authentic and a deeper life where you know your intuition, right? You know that you have intuition and you know it, and you're consistently honoring your body's needs, and you finally are stopping with the push, push, push. That's one. The second is perhaps you've learned to slow down just a little bit. And although listening to what's going on inside might not come super easily for you, you're ready to pay close attention. So you're longing, right? The first one, you're longing for a more authentic and deeper presence. And you're learning in this second one how to slow down and to listen. You're ready to pay closer attention. And you're done with being dragged into the woods because somebody said, well, you really need to do that, or you should do that, or because you don't want to be ostracized or on the outside, or have FOMO, fear of missing out, or any of those things. Or because that tiny little voice inside that says, oh, but I really want to take a bath and just rest at home, right? That little voice still isn't quite strong enough for you to go your own way. Or thirdly, maybe you just know. Maybe you just know that there's more for you. There's more for you out there, and there's more for you in here. There's more for you to feel, experience, there's more for you to be, and there's more for you to share. And you want to be sure of yourself for yourself, so that you can make the greatest impact in this life for your own good, for the good of others, your family, and your work, and for the good of the world at large. Now, it sounds lofty, but it all starts here. Gandhi said it, be the change you want to be in the world. So one of those three are the reasons that you are here. You're longing for depth and authenticity. You're ready to listen to your inner voice and stop pushing, or you want to rise into your next best and highest evolution so that you can make a real difference. So which one of those, in the comments, right? I got some thumbs up. Which one of those most speaks to you? Are you longing for depth and authenticity? We're just going to take a little pause here. I invite you to just turn your attention in. I'm going to take full advantage of this subtle and subtle little pause in the comments. So if you're coming in a little later, I'm seeing more of you show up. I'm just here to remind you that we're here to interact. So please tell me, which one of these most speaks to you? Are you longing for depth and authenticity? Are you ready to listen to your inner voice and stop with the push? Or are you ready to rise into your next best and highest evolution so that you can make a real difference? Tell me, right? You're showing up here. I want to hear from you. Which one of those is you? Okay. So you're not off the hook. I want to see you. And I know you're going to show up here. It's just this crazy little delay. It's probably because I'm in Mérida, Mexico. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to this, but I want to know which one you are. Okay. So please do tell me. So there we go. So we're starting to see them roll in. So Michaela said 2 and 3, right? Yeah, ready to listen to your inner voice and stop at the push. Tyga said 3. She's ready to rise into her next best and highest evolution. Come on back to me if you're multitasking, if you would. So do so. Come on back. There we go. Jessica Glendening. Hey, Jessica. All 3, but if I had to choose, it's 3. Yep, there we go. I know it's kind of a trick question, isn't it? Because I want all 3. That's why I teach what I teach. I want all 3. And when I show up, there's no better way to embody something than to share it. Great. So keep them coming. Thank you for sharing. I love to see this. All righty. So for those of you who don't know me or don't know me very well, I'm going to give you just a little bit of a background, just a tiny little bit of a background about me so you can get a feel. So here's me. So on the right, you can see that here I am with my partner, Hector. Hector is a Mexican man who I met a couple of years ago, and he and I, in this picture, we were leading a retreat in Troncones, Guerrero, Mexico. Jessica was there, right? Jessica and her partner, her husband, Ari, were there, her partner. And we were in the hot springs and we were giving ourselves this incredible mud facial because there's mud that's there. That's actually, they harvest that mud and they use it for 4 seasons in the area. So very interesting. So we are in this hot springs where the hot water is just coming up and out. Then the picture in the middle is when I was invited to Japan, and I was invited to be one of the primary teachers and speakers for a fundraiser for an orphanage. And this woman in the pink to my right is my translator, and the woman who's waving in the black, who's standing to my side, she is the organizer for the orphanage. And the little boy with the scrunched up face, the little sour face, he stuck by my side all day long as I taught these exact lessons that you're learning today, to all of the orphans, to all of the organizers, and to a great deal of the donors as well. And his little scrunched up face, he actually told me, he doesn't look very happy, but he actually told me that he wanted to marry me. So that's him. And then the picture that you see on the left is myself with one of my dearest soul sisters, Dr. Deborah Kern. And she and I were out with, and you might recognize that woman on the right. This is from about 8 years ago. That is none other than the Dr. Christian Northrup, who wrote Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. She also wrote Goddesses Don't Age. She's very well known in the mind, body, and in the energy medicine world. And she and Deb and I had gone out for dinner. And this is when Dr. Chris Northrup, after in the depths of some conversation, leaned over to Deb and said, "This is a medical emergency," and pulled out her tarot cards and spread them out on the table over our spread of food to do a tarot reading for another woman who was with us at that time. So this is just a little bit about me. Now, in addition to that, I've taught more than 20,000 hours of yoga and mind-body teachings over the years. I've been online in this world for more than 15 years. I've lived and studied and taught across the globe, as I do now, and I really do truly live these teachings. I wake up in the mornings before the sun, and honest to goodness, 90% of the time I rise inspired, rested, and ready for whatever is coming, and I get at it, whatever it is. And if for some reason the other 10% of the time I'm feeling tired or lost, I know what to do. And just the same, if I'm feeling tired or lost, I still get at it. Because I've learned that it's not what happens in life that determines how I feel and how productive I am. It's what I do with what happens. And I'm here today because more than anything, I want you to feel how I know you can feel each and every morning when the sun rises. So here, full transparency. The content of this masterclass is the basis of a new program that I'm launching. So I have a signature program called Pilgrim. It's 108 days. And sometimes people feel like when I ask them to commit to 108 days, I'm asking them for their firstborn because it's a huge commitment. So I decided some time ago, because students were asking and asking and asking for a little bit of a 101 version of that program. And so that's what this is. It is a more expansive and perhaps 10,000 foot view that also brings in more science, that brings in practices that are well outside of the yogic world, which Pilgrim is largely based upon the yogic world, so that you can still and result the same, rise into your next best and highest evolution. So this program today is the basis for that program that I'm launching. It's called the Radical Self-Care Roadmap. I'll tell you more about that later. And I am here today in all transparency in the hopes that you join me for that program. But I promise you that you're going to get a ton out of this in the next hour, and it's totally worth your time, or in the next 40 minutes. No matter what you choose to do at the end of this masterclass, to join me or to not join me, you have my word and you have my wide open heart that I'm going to support you, because what I want for you above all else, above anything I can offer you, is I want you to rise. And I know that you have everything that you need to do that. You have everything you need to rise. All right. So what if you could imagine what it would feel like? Or perhaps it's to say, can you imagine what it would feel like if every morning you awakened so full, like overflowing, so full and ready to rise and to live your best life, because it was your life that really lights you up? Can you imagine what it would feel like if every morning you awakened so full and ready to rise and to live your best life, because it is actually your life that really lights you up? What I know to be true is being conscious and intentional with your day-to-day choices, the choices you make about your body, with your body, and for your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit, that this consciousness and this intention is the single most powerful way to rise into the highest expression of yourself, so that you can also share your best self with your family, your work, and with the world. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We are going to go through these 4 pillars. We're going to go through an awareness and a practice around the body. We're going to go through an awareness and a practice around your mind, through your heart, in and through your heart, into your spirit. Then I'm going to show you what your potential next steps are. And then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So if you have questions, write them on down, but feel free to go ahead and save those for later as well, or feel free to drop them in the chat. So I'm just going to take a little pause here. So I'm just seeing Susan Applegate, Jessica, I know, delightful, Sarah B. saying number 2, absolutely, and Kathy McIntosh, yeah, 3 is a big one as well. So just keep on showing up, keep sharing your questions, keep sharing whatever it is that's most alive for you. I'd love to continue to know what I'm saying, if it's speaking to you. So tell me, is where we're going, does that make sense to you? And does that feel like where you want to go? Just give me a yes in the comments. All right. So we're going to start with secret or pillar number 1, your body. So your body is your new old BFF. So tell me in the comments, if you would be so kind, tell me, what are the qualities of a best friend? What are the qualities of a best friend? Yep. Quality of a best friend is always there for you. Exactly. Yep. Quality of a best friend is always honest with you. Quality of a best friend has your best interest in mind. You guys, you could teach this program. You got this, right? Tell me, what else? What are the qualities? If you think of your best friend, what are those qualities? Trustworthy, absolutely. Yes, yes, and yes. Trust, exactly. Tyga's saying the same thing. Tyga and Michaela, you guys are like this. Exactly. So here's the deal. A best friend tells you the truth. A best friend has no agenda for you to be different than you are. A best friend does everything possible to support you. A best friend will never abandon you. And a best friend wants you to be efficient, clear, at ease, and productive. So here's the deal. Your body is your new old, like been there forever, came with you when you got here, going with you when you leave, right? Your body is your new old BFF. And so your body tells you the truth. Your body has no agenda for you to be different. Your body is doing everything in its power to support you. Never your body will abandon you. You're never going to be like, oh my God, where's my body? It's not here. No, as long as you're here, your body's here. And your body is constantly giving you messages for you to be efficient, to be clear, at ease, and to be productive. Jessica, yep, you can always be yourself around them. Exactly, that authenticity is huge. Here's the deal. You don't need to be totally in love with every detail or aspect of your body in order to hear nor heed her wisdom, right? We don't have to be totally in love with our bodies in order for our body to tell us the truth and to not have an agenda and to be supportive and to not leave us, and to desire for us and to move into the direction of efficiency and clarity and ease and productivity, right? You don't need to be totally in love with every detail or aspect of your body to hear and heed her wisdom, right? The only requirements is that you're willing to listen. So tell me, are you willing to listen? Drop it in the comments. Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to trust that there's a reason for everything that's going on in your body? There's actually a really good reason why you're tired. There's actually a really good reason why your eyes hurt. There's actually a really good reason that you've got a heel spur. There's actually a really good reason that you can't poop. There's actually a really good reason that you're pooping too much. There's actually a really good reason that you have a rash. There's actually a really good reason. Can you trust that? And are you open to receive, right? Are you open to receive the information? And are you willing to take a tiny little step? Tiny little step. Just one. Yep, I'm seeing yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Take good care of your body, my friends. It is the only place you will ever live. You ever think about that? It's the only place you're ever going to live. This is it. This is it. Your body is your new old BFF. So one of my students and soul sisters, Candace Shutter, who is an author and she's a life coach, when I asked her about doing online program work with me, when I said, you know, the online program you did with me, tell me if you would, how did this positively impact you? What changed? And she said, oh my gosh. Now, she said, which was not the case before, now I start my day totally right. I prioritize what I've learned, works well for me, and keeps me grounded and productive. I've found that I've filled my toolbox, and my toolbox for getting through life's challenges is robust. I know what to do, and I know when to do it, and I do it. And finally, she said, I make better choices, and I take better care of myself, and it's no longer a struggle, it's an honor. Next pillar, next secret is your mind, right? Your mind is your command center. Now, this is important to know because your command center is different than your control center. Now, I can't take credit for calling it your command center because in the yogic tradition, we call it Agya Chakra, which means command center. And why this is important is because from the mind, we can direct our energies, but it is not in control. Right? It is not in control. Few things about the mind. Energy will always follow attention, as if to say, and if you circle back to the pillars exercise, what am I thinking? What's the one thing I could be thinking that would make the greatest and most positive impact on my life today? Your energy will follow that attention. Right? You know that with children, that children sometimes, and we just got little girls inside of us, there's no way around it. She's there too. We just know that when we get all spun out on a thought or on a worry or on an anxiety, all of our energy goes in that direction. We also know that addictions run deep, as if to say, when you're drinking a glass of wine, or when you're binge watching Netflix, or when you're eating too many cookies, that it doesn't have to do that the drinking of the wine or eating of the cookies, the binge watching is a symptom. And I'm here to say that 99% of the time, it's a symptom that the well is empty, that the well has run dry, that what you need to do is go refill. And you're not going to want that second or third glass of wine. You're not going to want to binge on Netflix. You're not going to want to eat 6 cookies. And the mind essentially is not to be controlled, but instead we want to pay attention to it and we want to respect it. The mind is where thoughts become things. So if you turn your face toward the sun and let the shadows fall behind you, if you turn your face toward the sun and let the shadows fall behind you, it is there where you will flourish. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your character, and your character becomes your life. So please do tell me, is this speaking to you? Does this make sense? Can you see the power of turning your attention to these awarenesses, to these truths? And when these are in place, that the tension, the anxiety that gnaws at us, the ways in which that we get waylaid or get pulled into the woods, that those things lose their grip on us. Can you see that? Please drop it in the comments. Oh my goodness, you guys. It is so hot here. There's a combination of it being super hot and I might just be having a hot flash as well. I wonder what the temperature is. I'll just tell you what the temperature is, just for fun. Just for fun. Do you want to know? Total tangent. I don't have a slide for this. Right now, and this is outside, not inside, but right now, this very second, it is, what is it? Oh my gosh, it won't tell me what it is. It is, oh, it's only 90. It's 90 here. No wonder I'm sweating. It's probably like 94 in here. So if I'm shiny, you know why. Okay, Sharon, hey. Yes, this makes sense, doesn't it? Glenn, Jessica, yes, yes. Mindful Mama, that's our Michaela for sure. Yep, absolutely. All right, so here's how I like to look at it. Can you treat your mind like an unruly, really cute, husky puppy that just doesn't know any better? Can you do that? The mind is not meant to be controlled. It's meant to be redirected. As if to say, when a puppy is doing something that's not working, you redirect it. I remember when I was training my puppy not to bite, my golden retriever, not husky, but training it not to bite, I was taught to stick my finger in his ribs. And if I stuck my little finger in his ribs, he would stop biting me. I redirected his attention and it worked. So where can you redirect your attention? You can go back to the quadrant exercise and you can go back to doing something, thinking something, feeling something, and that deep and rich and profoundly upward lifting knowing. redirect it, and then memorize what works. When you get to the other side, something small, let's say you really want to reach for a glass of wine and you sit and you drink a mineral water instead. And then when you crawl in bed at night and you sit to just say thank you for the day right before you fall asleep, you memorize how good your body feels in comparison to what you may have felt had you had that second glass of wine or that third glass of wine. Okay, this is it. This is where I said we'd come back to it. Then you put all of it into an anchoring phrase and you put it in all the places. So this makes me laugh because this is what I really do. Now, this isn't a picture of me, but this is what I do. For years, and I still do it, and many of you know this little secret about me, I write down what it is that I want to remember, that I want to bring to great awareness in my life. And I plaster it on the wall across from the loo, across from the toilet seat. And why do I do that? Because when I'm sitting there, I am a captive audience of myself. And so when you take an anchoring phrase for yourself, you take what am I thinking? What am I wanting to think? What am I wanting to do? What am I wanting to feel? And what am I wanting to know? Right? When you take that and you put it into 1, 2, 3, 4 phrases, right? You can choose one and put it there right across from you. It can be a quote. It can be some sort of anchoring phrases. It can just be something such as just breathe, or it can be everything is all right. One that I love comes from Pilgrim. Less reaction, less frequency of reaction, less intensity of reaction, and quicker recovery time. As if to say, am I reacting in my life? Am I recovering from that reaction with more quickly? Am I recovering more quickly? Is the intensity of the way that I react, has that mellowed? Like the distance between what? You broke a dish and so what? Or what? You broke a dish to so what now? Right? You lost your wedding ring? Oh, so what now? The distance becomes shorter. So you can put it into a phrase, you can have a quote, you can pull a quote, but let it touch your whole being and let that be there. Let that anchoring phrase be there for you and put it in all the places on your dashboard. Red up your lips like I've done today for this masterclass, and kiss your mirror and just write, it's all space right. Like everything's in order. Right? Something, whatever speaks to you, choose one anchoring phrase and put it in all the places. Your dashboard, your refrigerator, your bathroom mirror, inside your closet, across from the toilet. Your third pillar, third anchor is your heart. This is your connection to everything, beloved. Let yourself be silently drawn to the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. So keep going in that direction. And it is strange. Just as many of you have heard me say, if you've been with me in the past, and if you haven't, you're going to hear this today, that there's an ancient yogi who said that to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick world is no matter of health. For example, like Michaela is here with us. She's a great example. So she teaches this incredible course on how you go through your home and you clean your home from a living well green perspective. So just because everybody's using Tide, just because everybody's using Suave, just because, right, everybody's drinking non-organic milk, and not everybody, but that doesn't mean that it's healthy. So to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick world is no measure of health. So in that way, be willing to follow that little voice that takes you off what is normal, because normal just means there's a lot of people there. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best choice for you. And most of the time, it means that something's holding you back. So let yourself be silently drawn to the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. The heart will ultimately and always tell you what is true and real. This is a raw diamond. The heart will tell you what is real and true, and it speaks to you through your thoughts and through your body. Your heart speaks to you through your thoughts and through your body. You get a fire in your belly, your jaw gets tight, your throat starts to swell. You close your eyes, you grip your toes, you bite your fingernails, you can't poop, right? You feel afraid, you feel overwhelmed, you speak those things to yourself, perhaps not even out loud, but the heart is speaking to you and it's telling you what is true and real through your thoughts and through your body. And your job, beloved, your only job, ultimately, your first job is to pay close attention. So how do we do that? We notice what happens to our energy. We pay close attention. What's going on with your energy, right? Do I feel like I've just been depleted and wiped out? Or do I feel inspired and deeply connected? Or do I feel fried and frazzled? Just notice that and pay attention and watch for the patterns. And then notice what happens to your thoughts. Do you feel expansive and interconnected and more trusting? Or do you feel contracted and restricted and shut down? And then notice what happens where and when in your body. Do you notice your belly getting tight? Do you notice that you grip? Do you notice that you wrap your arms? Do you notice that you curl up in a ball? Do you notice that you're wide open? Notice these things and pay attention, because ultimately you're looking for patterns. The patterns will tell you where you need to turn your attention. Another student, when I asked her, so emotionally, what has this online program done for you? Can you speak to it? And she was like, oh my gosh, I am able to better discern what is true in my heart and come back to my center much more quickly so that I can navigate high pressure situations and deadlines with much greater ease and joy. And Valerie is in the moment. She's a radio producer in San Francisco. And so she's on it. She's answering calls. She's putting people in the queue. She's dealing with folks that maybe don't want to talk about anything that's on the radio. She's doing all of it. And she's finding that those high pressure situations and deadlines, that she is able to manage those much more quickly and come back to her center much more quickly with ease and joy. And wouldn't you want that? Like, tell me that, drop that in the comments. Wouldn't you like to better discern? I would better discern what is true in your heart in all sorts of situations and return to your center like that, right? Less reaction, less frequency of reaction, less intensity of reaction, and quicker recovery time. And wouldn't you like to navigate high pressure situations and deadlines with much greater ease and joy? Tell me. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Give me an amen. Absolutely. Sarah, little tangent. Sarah said, can I send you some Sub-Zero Montana chill? You can, you may. I'd love that, actually. It's -0, just like your sister said. It's crazy, you guys. It's so cold there. I love you. I love you, and I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry. You should come here. Okay, so here's a question for me, and please post this in the comments. What does your heart really long for that you haven't quite given yourself the space to bring into your life? Tell me that, would you please? What is your heart really longing for that you haven't quite given yourself the space to bring into your life? Just take a moment. Share that with me. So the only way into your body, the only way into your thoughts, the only way into your mind is slowing down enough to just be right here with it. Doesn't mean you have to take a half a day. It doesn't mean you have to take even an hour. You can just put your feet on the floor and you can take a breath right here, right now, super simply. And just drop that in the comments. What is your heart really longing for that you haven't quite given yourself the space to bring into your life? More time alone. Yeah, more joy and the ability to laugh, right? Yeah, when pressures are high, we feel those things. We feel those things, and it's really challenging for us, is it not? It's super challenging for us. When life is pushing and pulling and asking, etc., it's challenging. Sarah said a creative outlet. Absolutely. Yeah, right there with you. When we don't feel like we have that creative outlet in some way, whether it's arranging flowers or cooking, right? Or walking in nature and dreaming, we find that in that way we lose a part of ourselves, and we no longer have the energy nor the vitality nor the ability to tap in to the source of our energy to make an impact in our own lives, in the lives of others, and in the world. What else? Tell me more. Right? Time and energy, laughter, creative outlets, all those things. Being satisfied with the way things are. Yeah, absolutely. Not giving myself enough space. Just, yeah, that's like for me, that was a huge one when I made the shift from, it's all right, like I can live with that, to, yeah, but can you live with that? Is that enough? Or can I see that there's something bigger than me, that I live in a wise universe, not a bad universe. I live in a wise universe. And that universe is conspiring on my behalf to give me exactly what I need all the time to rise. So everything is not just all right, ALRIGHT, but everything is all, ALL space RIGHT. I don't know if you can hear the dinger outside, but the garbage man comes on a truck and they have a bell on the back of the truck. I pay $1 a month for garbage, just telling you, it's kind of fun. The space itself, purpose, feeling like I'm using my gifts and not wasting my days. Yeah, absolutely, y'all. All this is exactly right. So that brings us to this, right? This is the secret number 4. This is pillar number 4. This is your spirit. And this one lights me up completely, because your spirit, as I define it, your spirit is your way you do you. So your spirit is not the same as anyone else's. I like to use the example, if, here's a great example. If Dennis Rodman, do you remember Dennis Rodman? Kind of crazy old, he's getting old now, basketball player. Dennis Rodman and Mother Teresa walked into the room, you would feel a very distinctly different energy coming from each of them. Even if they didn't do anything, that energy is essentially their spirit. It's the way each of those individuals do themselves. So your spirit is the way you do you. And here, this is Liesel. This is one of my dear friend's daughters. And here's the thing. There's a better way. When you're like, isn't there a better way? Anytime that there's struggle, anytime that you feel like you're going against the grain, anytime that you feel that you're exhausted, that you're feeling depleted, there is definitely a better way, and it is your way. And it is absolutely never too late for you to follow your spirit. Never, ever, ever. Right? Okay, Ginny Egland-Leek, one of our students as well, one of my students as well, who's a health coach and an entrepreneur. You know, just the reminder, what did you love as a child? Ask yourself these questions. Like, how do you get to the core of it? What did you love as a child? What is it that you love to do? That is largely part and parcel tethered to the way you do you, and what is going to help energize you, help inspire you now. Also, where you feel small in your life, that's where the doorway is, essentially. So fear might not be telling you that it's something you need to move away from. Fear might be telling you, pay attention, pay attention. I've got something for you. There's a brand new world on the other side of this door. And so here's the deal. You can't necessarily start with huge things. If you've never swam, if you've never swam before, I don't know what the conjugation is. If you've never swam before, we'll just go with it. Jessica, you'll probably correct me here in a second. If you've never done that before, then the English Channel probably isn't the place to start. Start small, right? Buy some socks that got that got water on them, waves on them, that got little dolphins or little fishes on them. Buy yourself a piece of jewelry with a wave. Listen to music that invokes you to turn your attention to being inspired, right? Start small. If I want to eat well, I start with the little things. I trade out the kind of beverage that I'm drinking in the evenings, or I trade out white sugar for raw sugar, or I trade out white flour for a whole grain flour, or for a flour that has less gluten. Any of these things, start small and then let it grow you. And then just like I said about fear, and when you feel small, it's where the door is. it's a really good idea and a beautiful practice to start to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then we just call ourselves out in the presence of our sisters. Like back when I spoke about Deb Kern and many of you who are my soul sisters here, right? I'm just reaching out and saying, hey, like scared over here. Hey, not sure what to do over here. I get comfy with being uncomfortable. And oftentimes just having a soul sister there who goes, uh-huh, don't I hear you, sister? That's it. That's all we need. And all of a sudden, we've settled into a state of being a little bit more comfortable with being uncomfortable. Lori Jo Daniels, student, pilgrim, retreat, participant, artist, nature lover, fairy maker, she said after working with me, oh my gosh, there's no going back to who I was. And I'm now confidently walking the path of my own authentic calling. I am so inspired. So listen to what your body, your mind, and your heart are telling you, beloveds, and then go in the direction that expands you. There is no wrong way to do life, but there is a better way, especially if you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling below your potential, if you feel like you don't know what your intuition is asking, you can't hear your intuition, whatever it may be, and that better way is your way. And here's the bottom line, the only difference between where you are right now, if you don't hear anything else, hear this. The only difference between where you are right now and where you want to be are the steps that you have not yet taken. So your next steps, take your pick. You can keep doing what you're doing. And I say, if it's working for you, if you feel like you're inspired, if you feel like you're rising, rested, alert, ready for whatever life sends your way, no problems. You're managing everything gloriously. You're joyful, you're peaceful, you're pooping well, your skin's reflecting your vitality. Everything's going well. I say, keep on doing what you're doing, and you're not ever going to get a better champion on your side than me saying, you go, girl. And if that's not working, if you're not feeling that way, and what you're doing isn't working for you, then you can follow a proven roadmap. Another student, in an email, she said to me, to say that your program has been a salve to me this past year would be an understatement. It sustains me. It reminds me to live with an open heart and open eyes, and to show up and to do the best I am able. I feel connected to the other women in this program and in my life, and I'm so very grateful that you are choosing each moment to live these teachings and to bring them to light for myself, others, and in service to the world. Because here's the deal. This is Margie Hoffman. She's a Harvard law grad. She's a mama to a toddler. She's an environmental policymaker, and she is a wisdom keeper. And you can see all of these pictures of her as a wife, as a mama, as a wisdom keeper. And I'm just here to say that she, you, we are way more than and way more potent than the sum of your parts. So you hear me say, rise, rise into the next best and highest evolution, rise with the sun, rise, 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 rise. I love etymology, and so I just want to share with you here the etymology of the word rise, because it brings to light what we are doing, what I'm asking of you, what I know is possible within you, what I'm beckoning you to do by joining me. It comes from the Old English word risen, to rise from sleep, to get up, to stand up, to rise together, and to be fit. Not fit like to run a marathon, but to be able to be compatible, to do what you need to do on the inside, so that which life is asking of you, or the life that's longing to live through you, can just show right on up for you. To rise, to travel, to rise for a journey. From the 1200s, it also means to rise from the dead, to move from a lower to a higher position, to increase in presence, to rise in fortune and to prosper, to become prominent. And it also means, beloved, to rebel and to revolt. And what I mean by that is we're just turning our attention. Have you ever tried to turn a car when you're going fast and you're going in a direction and you just need to turn it just a little bit, and it's hard to turn? hard to turn, that's a rebellion, that's a revolt. But when you turn that vehicle just a few degrees in the direction of not where you've been going, but where you want to go, what you find is that come a little bit of time, first of all, the effort goes away. And it's an honor to be going where you're going. And then you find that what you see and where you end up is completely different. So I have a question for you, plain and simple. Would you like for me to help you rise into your next best and highest evolution, starting now? What I want for you is I want you to take your next best right step. I want you to rise. But that ultimately isn't for me to decide. I can only tell you what roadmap I have followed and hope that you glean something useful from it and from my journey. So again, choices. It's all about choices. You can try to create a life-friendly self-care program that's going to lead you to all of these things that I've spoken about. You can do that without a roadmap. Do it on your own, pull some things from the internet, talk to your girlfriends, and without a full, huge, impactful community who's going in the same direction to you. But the reality is that you're going to run a risk, as we all do, of waking up a year from now where you are now, or having lost more ground. Or you can put both feet in and you can commit to rising into your next best and highest evolution now, with a roadmap that I'm going to give you, with a community that's just waiting for you. Some of you are already in there. I'm so grateful you're here and you're part of the Radical Roadmap already. And with me, I'm going to be right here. So you can put both feet in and commit today if you want to, if your heart is called to, come if you're called, to rise into your next best and highest evolution with a roadmap, with a ready-made community, and with me. So you are invited. This is where I said I was coming, I was bringing you here. You're invited to join me for the Radical Self-Care Roadmap. It's been years in the making, beloveds, and it's finally here. The Radical Self-Care Roadmap is the only guided program of its kind that not only shows you how to create and implement a life-friendly self-care program, but it also teaches you how interconnected your self-care is to your abundance, meaning, vitality, and impact of your entire world. And what's going to happen is it is going to make self-care an absolutely indispensable part of your life. You're not going to want to drop it any more than you would stop brushing your teeth. This is the Radical Self-Care Roadmap. Okay, in this course, let me tell you a little bit about this course. In this course, you're going to pinpoint what's really in the way of you taking better care of yourself. You're going to put into practice daily self-care that does not feel like another thing to do, but instead raises you up, inspired, and ready for anything. You're going to build a foundation for vitality, ease, and impact through small, doable steps. And all these things are going to lead you to jumpstart your health physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And in the culmination of it all, you're going to create a personalized, practical, just for you radical self-care plan. There's 4 modules, body, mind, heart, and spirit. We're going to go deep into these, and you're going to have 12 lessons. There's going to be quizzes and PDFs and supporting documents and resources and easy peasy ways for you to implement what you learn as we go. There's going to be time and practice and implementation. Although we're going for 28 days, you don't have to finish in 28 days. Wherever you are, wherever you show up, however you show up, it's going to be there for you after the 28 days, but we're doing it together. There's going to be daily morning check-ins. I'm going to show up and I'm going to help you and guide you through the lessons from each weekly module. Maybe I'll have a little bit of bedhead Maybe I'll be just post-run and all sweaty, but I'm going to show up every single day for 28 days and check in. And those will be recorded as well. And there's going to be a ready-made community of like-minded women who are walking by your side, who are waiting for you, and who are longing to support you. I know this because I'm with this community already. We're already talking. We're already in the bellows of this, and we're taking our time slowly and steadily, and we're just waiting for you so that we can start on February 22nd. So again, because you're still here, if you join me today, I'm going to send you this little book, Dessert for Breakfast. There's bonuses in addition to this. But first of all, let me say that perhaps some of you think that I've got something you don't. And I'm just here to say it's not true. I simply have a roadmap. Like, I'm no better than you. I'm no smarter than you. I'm not more innately positive than you. None of that. I don't have better resources or teachers or any of that. No, I just have a roadmap that I follow every single time that I'm ready to rise in whatever way I'm being called to do so. And I use that roadmap. Second bonus for you is there's going to be monthly Q&As with me. So if you sign up for this, not only do you have the 28 days, but after the 28 days, once a month through the whole year, I'm going to be there with you where you can bring your struggles, your challenges, your roadblocks. If you can't make it live, you can send me an email and I'll answer your questions, and then you'll have the recording. And I'm going to be there to help you untangle limiting beliefs about time, energy, and whatever else is standing in the way of you living your best life. So you can join me each month for the rest of the year so that you can refresh and reset once a month to set yourself up to take the very best care of you so you can take care of others and the world. Also, there's a 7-day guarantee, money back guarantee. If you do the work and you're not satisfied, all you have to do is just show me the efforts that you've made within 7 days of enrolling for the program, and I'm going to give you a refund, no questions asked. There's no risk here, beloved. There's going to be a third bonus. It says second, but there's going to be a third bonus. I just caught that. And that is that I'm going to take you into my kitchen. This is the one thing that people ask me for more than anything. They want to come into my kitchen with me. They want to be in my life with me. They want real life recipes. And so I'm going to bring in my little Mexi kitchen, real life recipes, gadgets, products, and a few of my favorite meals, snacks, smoothies, and hacks. It's pretty rare and unusual. I don't tend to bring people into my kitchen or into my private life, but I'm going to bring you on in, and this is the third bonus. So you get dessert for breakfast, just laying out the values here. Radical self-care roadmap, $525 is its value. The first bonus is a $15 value. The second bonus, the monthly Q&A, $195. The radical self-care kitchen class, $79, which means that this course essentially is worth over $800. And I'm offering it to any of you who are coming in and through this webinar, a price of $249. So I know also that these times are difficult, that this is a challenge, a challenging time for us to be able to afford these sorts of things. And I'm also here to say that I get that, and I know the potency and the power of these practices, and that these 28 days are a fraction of a lifetime, and what you will get out of our time together is going to move you and is going to change you. There's 28 days, there's 4 modules, there's 12 lessons, and you can register at brittbsteele.com. Radical self-care, it's right there for you. All right, so how do you do it? You head on over and you register right there at the Radical Self-Care Roadmap. You click through to register, you'll fill out the form, you'll get your confirmation, and then you join our Facebook community, and there's people there waiting. They're just waiting for you to be there. So why are you here again? You want more than anything to live an authentic, meaningful, good life, and you're ready to take the next right step. You're ready to start listening to your intuition and to take better care of yourself. You've had enough of not. And you're also here because you know that you're living below your potential, and there's no better time than now to change that. Don't you want to wake up? Don't you want to wake up 2 months from now and have alleviated so many of the struggles that you're currently facing? I want that for you. I want to rise, even though we're across the globe. I want to rise in the morning and go, yeah, I got sisters with me who are doing the same thing, and we got this. So you might feel that you're already exhausted or overwhelmed and that you don't have time for the course. And I'm here to say, don't you worry. It's going to be here after the 28 days. It's going to be here for you to practice and to work through and to do the lessons throughout the whole year. You can drop in at any time, no problem. But what I will say is that what we fail to remember in the midst of our exhaustion and overwhelm is to be exhausted and overwhelmed is so time consuming. It sucks us down, it dumbs us down, it numbs us out, it wears us out. And when you have the energy to do what you need to be doing and to get on with it, you're going to find that you're going to be inspired and you're going to be more productive. And that exhaustion and overwhelm will never you mind. It's just going to come for a second and then be gone again. So you do have the time for this course, beloved. It's the time that we're making. And what if this course isn't a good fit for me? Then remember, you've got your money back guarantee. At any time, you can bail. You can just bail in those first 7 days and say, you know what, Britt, this just wasn't for me. I thought it would be, but it's just not. And I'll say, show me your work, because I'm not looking for tire kickers. You got to show me that you made the effort. Just show me. Show me what you've done. Show me your journal entries. Show me anything at all that you've been part of this and you've been practicing it. Tell me that, and 100% money back guarantee. And you've tried online courses before and it wasn't a great experience. I get that too. I've been in this world for more than 15 years and I've been teaching online courses, and I know and I understand what are the pitfalls. And that is why I am here with you every single day for 28 days. I'm not going to leave your side. You're not going to be left behind. You're not going to be left to flail on your own. I'm going to be here. I'm going to respond to you. Our community is strong. Our community is beautiful. Our community is focusing on turning our attention to the sun and letting the shadows fall behind us. And that's what happens because energy follows attention. So that's it, beloveds. We're going to roll into Q&A here. We're a few minutes over, so I just want to offer up that I'm right here for any questions that you may have. There we go. I'm loving this. Jessica said, of course, tangent, right? Jessica said, Britt's dessert recipes are to die for. Oh, nom, 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 nom. Yep, exactly. Cookie Monster. They are my favorites. In fact, you know, one of my students, long-term students, and dear soul sister, she's named one of those recipes that are in that book, although I didn't name it that, but I'll tell you because it's just us chickens. She calls them the orgasms. So just saying, they're really, really good. Anyway, that's just one of the bonuses that you get for signing up. So in here, you'll see too that there's 2 students. Learning from Britt is the greatest gift you can give yourself. That's Dr. Mary Lynn O'Brien. And Candace told me, it's been more than a year since I took my first course with Britt, and I continue to tap into the wealth of content. It is a profound gift to receive guidance and loving support from someone whom I feel I have so much to learn from. So who's here, baby? Tell me, do you have any questions about the program? Are there any doubts? Is there anything that you need to know in order for you to join us? You know, I'm not a high pressure girl by any means, but I am going to push you. I'm leaning into you, and I'm leaning into you because I know this stuff works. I see it in students. I see it in people that are my clients. I see it and I hear it. Weekly, I get emails. I'm not going to say every day I get an email, but I get emails weekly where people are saying, you know what, you have freaking changed my life. And here's the other thing. It's not me. It's not me. I open myself up. I'm clearing out the clutter. I'm teaching you how to clear out the clutter. And I'm opening myself up so that goodness can flow in and through me. And when we're in that place, I'm just here to say everything changes. It's the difference between being born with a pair of glasses that are covered in schmuck and schmick and funk, and you're like, I just can't see, I can't see. And that's what wine does, and that's what the world does, and that's what social media can do, and that's what the news does, and that's what Uncle Barry does, and that's what my mom does sometimes, and that's what, you know, politics and religion, and that all these things do that sometimes. So what happens if somebody came up to you in your life and said, oh, you know what, that's a wrong prescription. Here, give me those. And you give them your glasses and you go, oh, and they put a new prescription on your eyes and you go, oh, wow, look at all the flowers. Wow, there's so much nourishment around me. There's so much that I can tap into. Look at all the potential. Look at the possibilities. You crawl in bed at night and at 4:30 in the morning, you go, oh my goodness, it's like Christmas. It's a party. My life is like a party because I get to, like, you think I'm crazy. I'm not shining this on, beloved. This is how I feel. And my life is a sacred shit show sometimes. Sometimes things are hard. There's no question. It's hard. There's big stuff going down. There's challenges. There's struggles. And I'm just constantly going, okay, what tools do I have to reach into? What am I doing each and every day that's fortifying me so I keep the well really, really full? And that's what I'm sharing with you through Radical Self-Care Roadmap. It is radical. There's no question, because it's going to change you, and it's going to change the way that you do you, and it's going to change the way that you live and what you offer, and it's going to change the way in which that you are able to make an impact in your life, in the lives of others, and in the world. Okay. If I registered after the 5-day self-care, will I still receive the bonuses? So Susan, that's a great question. So the 5-day self-care challenge, right? That's a free program that I offered. So that is just a standalone program that you had access to, if I'm understanding your question. And so, yeah, absolutely. If you haven't registered for Radical Self-Care Roadmap, you could have been on retreat with me. You could be private client of mine. You could have been through Pilgrim. You could have done any of those things, and you're going to receive those bonuses. Those bonuses are for you. If you register before registration closes next week, and you're going to be hearing from me, but I'm encouraging you to register sooner rather than later, because the community is there and the recipe book is waiting for you, and we're already there, so you can turn that 28-day program into a 35-day program just like that. Right? You can be there and be with us right here, right now. Get ready so that when you start on that first day on Monday, the 22nd, you're ready to go. Then you already got everything in your pretty little hands, and you're totally prepared for the journey. So yes, absolutely, you're going to get that. All right, beloveds, no other questions. I'm a few minutes over, so I'm going to let you go. I love you so much. I'm super grateful. My cheeks hurt from smiling. from smiling. I'm going to send you out the recipe book for any of you who register, and I'm going to get you those bonuses. And I'm just loving you and right here. So please, I hope you join me for the Radical Self-Care Roadmap, and we'll be in touch. Have a glorious day. And if there are no more questions, there we go. Chris, you're so welcome. I love you, Chris. I love you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Big love. Mwah. Ciao.